World Series champion. Remember last time we talked, you was talking about maybe getting there, but you got your ring. How was that moment for you?
It was wild. It was, I don't know, it's like one of those things that happen, and like, you know, you got a good squad and you know you got a chance, and doing it, like getting there the year before and then finally like finishing the job that year was special. It was one of those moments it's hard to describe, because like, I don't know, it's so hard to win just regular games, and then to win a ring is crazy difficult. So it just, I don't know, it was pretty sweet.
So I know you've been on your grind, man, but I know you're a gamer. So have you been gaming at all?
Yeah, a little bit less. Like my kiddo is getting older, so she's so active now that it's like I can only play whenever she goes to bed, and it makes it a little bit tougher. But yeah, I'm still playing when I can.
I like it. So today is Jackie Robinson Day, different things like that. MLB The Show did something that was pretty interesting. They added the Negro Leagues to the game. What did you think about that?
I think it's pretty cool. It's like I like seeing the stories of the people that like don't typically get the recognition that in the history of our game that they should. Like, it's like a lot of those guys should have been able to play in our league and weren't able to, obviously, and that's something that I think we've made a lot of progress in. I think it's definitely a good thing to show what they were capable of, because obviously there were some truly special players that the mainstream didn't get to see.
I like that. So obviously 2023 Astros, obviously there's been some injuries, different things, but I feel like with this team, been there, done that. Seems like once y'all get hot, get going, you know it's going to be time. What is the expectation for the team? They obviously get back, but what do you feel about this team this year with the additions and some subtractions that were lost?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is it's kind of the status quo. Is, hey, just go out there, do your job, get your work in, and keep improving like you would in any normal year. But also like overcoming some injuries and seeing some young kids come up and get some chances and get to prove themselves a little bit. Obviously, with some new additions, like, we feel good about the team itself. And yeah, it's right now it's still early. It's a lot of things change as the year goes on. I think I saw somewhere we have like the same record we started with last year, and people, I guess,
wrote you off.
Well, people panic, and I think it's a lot of stay the course, and it's not so much anything in our clubhouse where people panic. I think it's like outside the clubhouse noise. People focus on the things that aren't necessarily important in the moment. It's like, yes, would we like to have won every game we played? Yes, but like, the season's long for a reason, and you get the chance to get healthy and move on and just kind of find your footing. I think a lot of it is early in camp. We don't have a lot of guys playing and getting a ton of work in because we played so late the past couple years, so they try to keep people off their feet a little bit later. And you get to a point where people start to find their stride maybe a week or two into the season, as opposed to getting out the gates like incredibly hot, because you know the season's so long and it's injury prevention and stuff like that, where you're trying to keep everybody healthy for 162, and that means a lot, especially down the stretch.
I like that. So, two more questions. So, the WBC. I know you as a player, obviously it was great to watch it, but to see Shohei versus Trout in that moment, I think for baseball was huge. To see that, even just being a fan looking from the outside, how did you feel about that?
Oh, I thought it was great. The World Baseball Classic is amazing for the game of baseball, and I know there's a lot of haters on the World Baseball Classic because people got hurt, but the thing that they forget is people get hurt in spring training. People get hurt in spring training all the time. Like,
people get hurt in off season.
In the off season, like, yeah, that's like they look at a small instance where people would be playing baseball anyway, and they get hurt playing baseball. And then this, obviously, like, the Edwin thing was a freak accident. That's not something that like could like can be predicted. Like, it's just a fluke, and it's super unfortunate that one of our best in the game like gets hurt. But it's not a detriment to the World Baseball Classic. It's just showing how much people care about playing for their country and showing the dedication to their people. And I think that's something that gets lost, because I think I saw where maybe three of the three most watched baseball games of all time were all in the World Baseball Classic. Like, that's a tremendous like boon for our sport. Like, and I think that's something that they really did right. They've grown the game like internationally, and that's what's important, I think. And people lose sight of that.
Love it, love it. Last question. So, 63 games last year you pitched. I had around a 1 ERA, but I got to ask you, man. I did the Mount Rushmore with you last year by position, but if you did relief pitchers only, you put 4 in the Mount Rushmore. What 4 would you put on the spot?
On the spot. I mean, Mo's obviously got to be on there. Like that's a given. Eric Gagne has got to go on there.
Goggles, love it. Nasty, nasty work.
Like when he was in his peak, like maybe nobody ever better.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So we got Rivera, we got Gagne.
Yeah. Shoot.
I've heard some names like Brian Wilson. I've heard Eckersley.
Yeah.
Different guys like that.
Eckersley's got to be on there. I feel like Hall of Fame credentials. Like you can't. It's hard to pass up on X. So it's like I would probably put him on there.
And you got the hometown guy.
I know. We got
Wagner.
I did. It's so hard. Like there's so many guys.
So many.
Like I think that's the problem is like there's so many relievers that have been special. Yeah, I mean, maybe
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's you can't really pick a wrong one. I would like probably go with Hoffman just because I mean he's got I think has almost 600 saves. Like that's like it's hard to pass up on guys like that. Like because like the numbers are so outlandish and they pitched for so long and they have such a body of work that like all those guys were so good for so long or so good in their prime that like you can't ignore those guys.
I love it, man. Well, Ryan, man, appreciate the time. We'll be talking soon. Keep doing your thing out there. Appreciate you.